Prophet ﷺ says in the famous dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal-kasal. Oh Allah, I seek your protection and refuge from helplessness and from laziness, from indecisiveness, lack of firm will. And it is this that wastes people's lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advises the Prophet ﷺ in the Quran, and He instructs the Prophet ﷺ to seek counsel and advice from the believers even in important issues. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to him, وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ, and seek their advice, seek their counsel. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to him, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Then when you reach a decision, when you decide on a resolution, put your trust in Allah. And that implies when you put your trust in Allah, you go about and you fulfill your decision. You act on your decision. You don't sit back and wait for things to happen and you're just being a spectator or a watcher on the side. You take part in the action. You're right in the field. You're making things happen rather than just watching things happen. And that's a very powerful thing. And that's what's called in Arabic decisiveness. There are people who have very good minds, very good knowledge, and they can really analyze things and reach at certain decisions. But these people, when they lack decisiveness, they're incapacitated. They're paralyzed by their analysis. Why? Because they overthink things. They want to work out things and process things, and they overdo it to a point of inaction, so they don't do anything in their life. But decisiveness and hazm in Islam means that when you see the right thing, you do it. And when you see the bad thing, you leave it straight away. That you do not succumb, and you do not give up control to your desires.
قال اعقلها وتوكل. He said, O Messenger of Allah, my camel, should I tie it and place my trust upon Allah? Or should I leave it untied and place my trust upon Allah? The Messenger ﷺ said, no, tie it. Do what you need to do. Tie it. And then place your trust upon Allah. And a similar meaning is found in Sahih al-Bukhari on the authority of Ibn Abbas, who said, كان أهل اليمن يحجون ولا يتزودون ويقولون نحن المتوكلون فإذا قدموا مكة سألوا الناس فأنزل الله تعالى وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى. He said the people of Yemen, when they would go to Mecca to carry out their pilgrimage, they would not carry with them any luggage, and they would not take with them any belongings or provisions. And they would say, we have placed our reliance upon Allah. We are people of tawakkul, we don't need luggage. He says, but the moment they get to Mecca, they start asking favors from people, food and drink from people. So Allah Almighty, He revealed the verse when He said, take provisions. Take provisions. تزودوا. And the greatest of all provisions is taqwa, fear of Allah. But take provisions. Therefore a Muslim is to capitalize upon every means that Allah has made halal to attain the good of dunya or the good of akhirah. And this does not contradict tawakkul, as Imam al-Shatibi, he said, it does not contradict tawakkul, rather it is part of tawakkul. Even if these means seem to be very ineffective and small. You may say, Ya akhi, my CV is very weak, and my wealth is very little, and my efforts are very small. You have to take the means if you want your tawakkul to be complete, whilst your heart is completely attached to Allah. Therefore, we see when Ayub alayhi salatu wasalam, he became ill, and he asked Allah for relief. Allah gave him relief, but what did he say? Urkud birijlik. هذا مغتسل بارد وشراب. Allah said to him, you want the cure? Kick the earth with your foot. Kick the earth with your foot. A little spring of water will come out. Drink from it and wash your body. You will become cured. Why did he need to kick the earth? Allah Almighty could have caused the water to come out without requiring the ill man to kick the earth. And how strong will be the impact of the kick of an ill man? it will be weak. But Allah Almighty is sending a very powerful message for you and I. We need to do our part. We need to do our bit, and Allah Almighty's assistance will come after that. This is part of tawakkul. Similarly, Maryam alayhi salam, after she had just given birth and she was hungry and thirsty, Allah Almighty said to her, وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ.
To fix a certain problem, but you always put it off. Tomorrow, later on, I will do that. When the circumstances are perfect, when I feel, the situation is right, I will do it. That's indecisiveness. And this is what kills the dreams of most of humanity. And this indecisiveness comes from different places, mainly from fears. Unrealistic fears. And it comes from our doubts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's not there for us to help us. Whereas when someone truly has trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they would act. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the verse where He said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, seek their counsel. And when you reach a decision, put your trust in Allah. Allah didn't say when you reach a decision, act upon it. He said when you reach a decision, put your trust in Allah. Because that implies when you put your trust in Allah, you're going to act. Allah didn't need to say you act, because it's implied in putting your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So most of the time, we not have enough trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can do. All the great people in the world, when they started doing what they did, they didn't have all the means. They didn't have it all figured out. They didn't have all the answers. They just trusted. And they kept moving forward. And the answers will reveal themselves. Because we think we need to figure everything out before we start. But this is not how the world works. This is not how the world works. If what you want to do is good, and you have the courage to do it, and you have the basic skills to do it, but still, there are so many questions unanswered. There's a lot of uncertainties. You need to actually start into it. Ali radiallahu anhu, he had a famous statement that he used to repeat. He used to say, "Man jasara aysar, wa man haba khab." Whoever musters their courage, things will start easing out for them. You need to venture into things. You need to jump into the unknown sometimes, because things don't reveal themselves all at once. Then he says, وَمَنْ هَابَ خَابَ. But whoever is controlled and governed by their fear, they will be disappointed. They're up for a lot of disappointment in their life. Why? Because they'll live their life small. They'll sell themselves short. Life will go by without them doing anything substantial, without them tapping into their potential. Every human being has treasures within them that Allah has given them, that they are supposed to tap into and bring out into the world in service of their Creator first and foremost. But a lot of us, are living with our fears. Other people can do it, I can't do it. Other people have what it takes, I don't have what it takes. I'm afraid that I'll fail. I'm afraid that it won't work out. I'm afraid I don't have all the answers. Be sure that shaitan is controlling you. When the Prophet ﷺ set out for the battle of Badr, 300 people are going to fight 1,000 people. There's no certainty. Completely outnumbered. Yet the Prophet ﷺ put his trust in Allah, and they ventured, and Allah gave them victory. History has a lot of examples like this. When he was the Khalifa, he sees someone walking down to the street trying to be spiritual. Extremely, lenient, and he's not even walking properly, trying to be too soft in the way he walks. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu goes and reprimands him, tells him off. He says, Ya hada amatta alayna dinana. You've killed our religion. You've killed the spirit of our religion. Don't lose your masculinity when you're being spiritual. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu himself, when he became a Muslim, Muslims were hiding, new Muslims were hiding. They were keeping it secret that they were Muslims. Umar al-Khattab becomes a Muslim. What does he do? He embraces Islam fully. He's not shy of it. He's not scared. He knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect them. So he asks the people in Mecca, he says, أَيُّ قُرَيْشٍ أَنْقَلُ لِلْحَدِيثِ. He goes around, he asks, who among Quraysh would spread the news like wildfire? They said, Jamil ibn Ma'mar al-Jumahi. There was a man, his name was Jamil ibn Ma'mar al-Jumahi. He's a man, you tell him something, give him 10 minutes, all of Mecca knows about it now. He's going to air the news. Umar al-Khattab goes to him straight away. He didn't say tomorrow. He didn't say, let me plan it out, let me think about it, let me put a study about it. No. He wants everyone in Mecca to know that he's a Muslim now and that they should watch out for him now. So he goes to Jamil and he says, do you know that I've become a Muslim? And I testify, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Jamil, upon hearing this, he doesn't reply. He brings his cloak together, walks to the middle of Mecca. He calls out on everyone, hey people of Mecca, do you know that Umar al-Khattab has apostated? In the sense that he left their religion. أتدرون أن عمر قد صبأ يا معشر قريش أتدرون أن عمر. If you pay attention to doubt in your salah, how many sajda did I make? How many rak'ah did I make? And you start entertaining doubt, the next prayer, the following prayer, you do the same again. It becomes a habit of the mind. So that's decisiveness. Again, decisiveness. So when you see something good, go about and act upon it. Do it. There is something that you need to do. Do it. The Prophet ﷺ says, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ الصَّلَاةُ عَلَى وَقْتِهَا. One of the most beloved and dearest acts to Allah, you pray on time. Time for salah, go and pray. Don't say, well, Asr is going to be 5 o'clock. I still have time to pray Dhuhr. I'll pray at 4:30. If that's your style, you're going to do the same with the rest of your life. You keep things dragging. You always play, catch 25. You keep trying catching up on things. You always stay behind. You give someone an appointment at 1 o'clock, be there 1 sharp. If not before that. You say, they'll wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then it will drag. It will become a habit that you will come half an hour, 1 hour later, then you won't see a big deal. Why? It's become a habit. It's become a habit. You have your salah, no problem. I'll pray Dhuhr with Asr. That's not what Islam teaches us. It teaches you that when you have something, go about and do it. The Prophet ﷺ would have, Aisha radiyallahu anha, a lot of money came to her one day. Her share of something came to her. Lots of money. Lots of money. What did she do? She started dividing it into portions. Then she sends this portion to that family, this portion to that family, this portion to that widow, this portion to this single mother, this portion to that poor family, and so on and so forth. Until what? By the end of the day, she had nothing left. Nothing left. So her servant says to her, you should have left something for us because we don't even have food at home. Then she turns to her and she said, you should have reminded me. She said, you should have reminded me that we don't have food at home. I forgot. The Prophet ﷺ one day, he received a big share as well. And he started giving it away, giving it out to other people.